Okay guys, today we are working on chapter 5, lesson 8, and this is another hands-on lesson, so we're going to draw some models. If you don't want to draw the models, you do not have to. If you're picking it up without the models, that's totally fine. Find 1 and 8/10 minus 0 and 4/10. Use base 10 blocks. Okay, so if we're using a model, this is what 1 and 8/10 looks like. 1 whole and 8/10. Take 4/10 away. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take that away. How many do we have left? Let's draw. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4/10, right? How many ones are left? 1. How many tenths are left? 4. So 1 and 8/10 minus 4/10 is 1 and 4/10. Let's use addition to check our answer. 1 and 4/10 plus 4 more tenths equals 1 and 8/10. Okay. This one says 2 and 25/100 minus 75/100. Use base 10 blocks. Okay, let's model 2 and 25/100. Now let's subtract 75/100. Count the remaining base 10 blocks and draw the results. Okay, so 75/100. Okay, in order to do that, we would need to cross out 75/100. We would need to take away 7/10 and 5/100, but you cannot subtract 7/10 from 2/10. I can't take 7/10 away from here, so I have to regroup the ones block as tenths. So I'm going to take this away, and I know that there's 10 in here, so I'm going to draw 10. Okay. So I had to regroup them. So now there is no more. That takes away one of the ones. And now I have to take away 75/100. So I'm going to take 7/10 away and 5/100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is how much I have left in tenths. And then 5/100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what do I have left? 1 ones. How many tenths are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And how many hundredths are left? None. So my result is 2 and 25/100 minus 75/100 is 1 and 5/10. I take 1 and 5/10 and add it to 75/100, I get 2 and 25/100. Okay, this is explained to a friend, but let's just think about it ourselves. When should we regroup when subtracting decimals with base 10 blocks? Well, we learned up here that we should regroup when we're subtracting a digit with a greater value than the digit from which you're subtracting. So in here, we had to take 7/10 away, but we didn't have 7/10. So we needed to break apart this hundredth or this ones and make it 10 so that we could subtract it from there. So we regroup when you are subtracting a digit with a greater value than the value of the digit from which you are subtracting. Okay. And the next question says, how many tenths blocks will you need to subtract 0.35 or 3500ths from 1.2? Explain. All right, let's do that one here. So it says 0.3500ths subtracted from 1.2. So 1.2 is the bigger number, and subtraction, I'm going to put that first. All right, so how many tenths blocks? So let's start. I have 1, and then I have 2. So 1.2, but I want to take I want to take 0.35 away. Can I take 3500ths away? No. So basically, can I take 3/10 and 500ths away? No. So what do I have to do? I have to break this apart. I have to make this 10 tenths. And so I drew 9 here, but I'm thinking, I think I also, because I'm going to need 500ths, I think maybe I should take one of my tenths and break it apart into 10 hundredths, right? So if I added 9 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my 10th one is just going to be 10 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, then that works out nicely. Okay, so I need to take 3500ths from 1 and 2 tenths. So let's take 3500ths now. 3/10 minus 3/10, so 1, 2, 3 are gone. And 500ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, how many do I have now? I have 0 ones left. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. And how many hundredths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 0 and 85 hundredths. So let's go back to the question that says, how many tenth blocks will you need to subtract 35 hundredths from 1 and 2 tenths? And the answer was 12. 1 and 2 tenths is the same as 12 tenths. Okay. All right, guys, so you're going to work on independent practice, page 351 and 352. Try your best. Let me know if you have any questions.